even the music video, this definitely feels like it's the intro of a James Bond film. I've spent more than 100 hours in the base game of Cyberpunk 2077, and with the release of Phantom Liberty, I finally found another excuse to return to this game's unique world and of course its gorgeous music. In fact, we're gonna listen to one of the newest songs from Phantom Liberty right now. And as always, this is a reaction video, so there's going to be a lot of pausing and talking. If you want to listen to the soundtrack uninterrupted, I link it in the description.
Found out treasures are always lost.
Okay, first off, all these mechanisms at the back of Songbird's head, the character Songbird, of course, very much like an allusion to The Matrix, except it's red instead of green. And of course, with Keanu Reeves involved in the franchise, it's very much like a meta play. But for the first 20 seconds that I've heard, this definitely gives me a James Bond-esque feel of that melancholic but classy vocals.
Pleasures and rage come back. I'm watching you. Be careful with your moves tonight. I think the time is right.
Yeah, definitely fits a James Bond intro.
I think the blood is dry. It cries for more. So what are we waiting for? Wires and chains.
Fantastic vocals, super haunting, super sonorous.
Starting to fade. It feels like a game you have to play.
Ooh, oh my god, that was goosebumps inducing. We have imagery of Solomon Reed, V, and Songbird, which I believe are the main characters of the Phantom Liberty DLC. Of course, V is always the main character. But yeah, very fitting of that James Bond musical aesthetic, since this is also a game about secret agents, conspiracies, espionage, and all that. Another song in the video game music repertoire kind of reminds me of this aesthetic, this classy James Bond-esque crooning style, and that is from another well-known spy franchise, Metal Gear Solid, and I'm talking of course about the song Snake Eater.
Lights out. Is this who you really are? Can't look into your eyes. Your twisted mind.
Ooh, oh my god. Those string beds are a great foil to the vocals. The vocal singing style, very beautiful, very melancholic, but also a little bit on the nasal side of singing. And of course, it's not a bad thing. But because of the nasal style, the vocals are a little bit on the sharper end of the treble frequencies, which is a great match for the string beds because I noticed that the strings are mixed a bit more subdued. I noticed there's a bit more muffling in the mix to contrast the vocals, which is a wonderful thing.
It's dark, so dark. We end it now. It ends right here, right now.
Oh, wow, yeah. Strings, brass section, full bombastic sound, larger than life, which kind of reflects the plot of Phantom Liberty or Cyberpunk in general. It's pretty much a war between nations, politics, corporations, espionage, gang wars, and all that. It's all very cinematic, larger than life setting. And this music is definitely a reflection of that.
Wires and chains, starting to fade. It feels like a game. You have to the days where it was good are gone.
Modulation.
I'm trying to see what it was for, but I'll never know. And though it's dead,
I notice a descending chord progression with all the harmonies, kind of elevating the depression, the melancholic feeling of the song. Great falsetto right there.
wires and chains, starting to fade. Feels like a game. You can't escape. Wires and chains, starting to fade. Feels like a game.
Even the music video, this definitely feels like it's the intro of a James Bond film.
You can't
It's the big band seventh chord, kind of like the James Bond chord. So many allusions to James Bond, probably because that's like the most iconic spy franchise of all time.
I found out treasures are always lost, pleasures are long forgotten. Who are you now?
Damn, what can I say? It's a very contemplative and also kind of dreamy song. If you play Cyberpunk, aside from the high octane combat and the fancy cybernetic hacking and all that, there's also a lot of philosophical concepts like the existence of AI versus humanity and all that. So there is a lot of contemplative discussions. There's a lot of contemplative story beats, especially when you go deeper into the story of Johnny Silverhand, the character of Keanu Reeves. Without spoiling anything, there is a lot of tough philosophical choices that you're going to face. So this music being contemplative and melancholic and kind of thought-provoking is definitely a fitting vibe for the franchise.
Wires and chains, starting to fade. It feels like a game.
And this is called Force Projection. Ooh, this is probably one of the battle themes. Yes, it is. It's all coming back to me now. All the hiding and all the sneaking and just trying to target my crosshair into that tiny pixel of the enemy far away so I can target them with my quick hack, contagion, and boom, it just spreads to all the other enemies like an AoE. They didn't even see me, they didn't even catch me, but somehow I triggered the alarm because of a camera I didn't see in the back. Oh my god, if you notice, the structure of the song is just super simple. It's very repetitive, but instead of giving you like a singable melody, it's giving you this range of emotions, especially with the textures, the swelling and the unswelling, the roughness and the smoothness of those different kinds of synths, and that simple, very simple drum beat. It's just moving the piece along, but it's more about the ambiance. It's more about the energy, not melody, energy. And dare I say, the different levels of energy or the different levels of the hype is kind of like the quote-unquote metaphorical melody that is carrying the song. I'm always impressed by the simplicity of synthwave, of EDM, such as this type of music, very heavy on the electronic synthesizer side. And there's just a different mindset when it comes to writing and producing music for this. I'm mostly a classically trained composer, so by default, I always default to thinking in terms of melody and chord progression. I think of texture and rhythmic vibe as a secondary thing. From what I've learned so far from my EDM producing friends in the music industry, it's really initially about the vibe, the beat, the bass line, and oh my god, yeah, it's a different way of thinking, and I'm always on a journey to learn more about this. So yeah, this is all interesting to me. Yes. I think I tend to end battles so fast because of my very OP Netrunner build. So I don't usually hear as far as this part of the song, or maybe I just don't pay attention because I'm always distracted by the gameplay, the noise of the guns and all the skills and all that. That is why we do these reaction videos. Deep dive on just the music, without context, without distractions, so we can appreciate just the music itself. Yes, like I said, this is like the mellower side of this song. And despite being a battle theme, having a part that is mellow, more subdued, more emotional. Always a nice contrast, always a nice breather for the listener, for the player. It also kind of induces a bit more of a strategic thinking. It kind of gives you this opportunity to, wait a minute, are you really gonna use this attack on them or just gonna press buttons? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But I appreciate the contrast, of course. Listen to that. The drums. It's so simple. Tak, 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 tug. Tak, tug. Tak. Not even a complex beat, but such simplicity is so effective in just bringing you this upbeat vibe. The phrase less is more comes to mind. Yeah, this is a great example of less is more. Such simple beats, such simple chordal patterns, such a simple harmonic and rhythmic beat, but it creates so much tension and energy. Very fitting for such a battle theme. By the way, if you're enjoying the content, do consider supporting the channel by joining my YouTube memberships or my Patreon. Let's continue. This is called Never Looking Back. This is a cybernetic choral. It sounds very classical, very Gregorian chant medieval style, but dressed up with all these bit crusher modern sounding effects. I love this combination of Western synths, very modern cybernetic synthesizer sounds with tribal style chanting. It's an otherworldly combination. very impressed. There's a lot of contemplative, meditative styles of songs in the soundtrack. There's just, oh my God. I always think of traditional indigenous chanting as always something that sounds so visceral, so close to nature. I'm not exactly sure what cultural style of chanting this particular one in Cyberpunk is, but this definitely reminds me a lot of back home in the Philippines. There is also a lot of indigenous tribal chanting that kind of sounds similar to this. And oh my God, this is giving me a little bit of nostalgia for home, to be honest. Whew, oh my God, that was amazing. It is one of the slower songs. Again, there's a lot of high octane, upbeat songs in the Cyberpunk soundtrack, of course, but I also appreciate more of these contemplative ones. This is a song called I'm a Netrunner. Well, this is fitting for me. I'm a Netrunner. I mean, I play as a full-on Netrunner build in the base game. Well, this is my song, kind of. What was your build in Cyberpunk? Let us know in the comments. Oh, wow. Lots of electrifying sounding synths. Lots of eardrum destroying sound. All this grating, rough texture. I'm guessing that's kind of like an audio representation of how your victims in Cyberpunk experience things, or like they're being electrified or electrocuted whenever you do a quick hack attack on them. Wow, that deep synth bass. Oh my God. Yeah, this entire soundscape right here, very rhythmic, very atmospheric, lots of dreamlike or nightmarish kind of soundscape feel. I'm guessing this is like the perspective of someone who has experienced a quick hack attack from you. It's like the people in the world who are experiencing cyber psychosis, which is kind of like the sickness associated with cybernetic implants in the world of cyberpunk. This is probably the insanity that's going on in their head. Yeah, that is one way to make a musical piece out of different types of white noise. You're gonna hear like different levels of white noise. There's a high pitch, low pitched, and it's like this cacophony of musical white noise, but they're being unified by that bass line. Beautiful vocal line. Wow, okay. So even though it started as this sort of ear grating types of sound, white noise, rough sounding synths with all these screeching types of sounds, there comes a certain point in the song that you become numbed to the noise-like quality, and suddenly only the harmonies and the tones and the emotional aspect become prevalent. And suddenly it becomes more like a meditative chant, or maybe like a meditative hymn, kind of like all those religious choral pieces, especially in the Renaissance or medieval era, like kind of like the Gregorian chants. There's this solemn feeling about it, and it can also kind of reflect the lonely life of being a netrunner. Now click on this next video if you want more discussions and musical analysis of video game music.